So, good day sir, we are the group 3 and our topic is about ship handling and maneuvering. So, the members are Decadet Padilla, Decadet Panal, Decadet Regato, Decadet Relampago, Decadet Rico, Decadet Saluman, Decadet Saison, Decadet Sia, Decadet Suico, Decadet Tamosa, and lastly Decadet Zuniga.
Good day everyone, this is the Cadet Padilla John Chigbert. Today I will going to tackle about ship handling and maneuvering. Number 1. Describe the importance of ships turning circle in ship handling. Number 2. Compare the turning circle in ballasted condition to the turning circle in loaded condition. What is ship turning circle? When a rudder is put hard over the port or starboard side. After a short interval, the vessel begins to follow a curved path towards the side on which the helm is applied. Radius of curve keeps reducing, and by the time ship's head is 90 degrees away from original, a steady radius of turn is reached.
What is ship's turning circle? The most common maneuver a vessel may be required to every now and then. Let us make some instances, such as making a swerve around a landmass, island, ports, harbor, and other vessels. Taxing, berthing for cargo handling, making its way through a canal or heading back to its original destination. After encompassing its destination, turning point is inevitable in ships. A turning circle maneuver can be explained briefly as: first, it is ensured that the vessel is heading towards in a straight line with a steady approach speed. The rudder is turned in the specific direction. The ship initially has a tendency to deflect towards the port, then it takes a large turn to starboard.
For the achievable performance, maximum rudder angle applied is 35 degrees within design limits. As exceeding that would be gradually less efficient lifts and finally installed. After some times, it makes a complete turnaround like U-turn of a car with a 180 degrees change in heading direction. After some time, it takes the trajectory of a circle with steady turning radius. The turning circle has to be done both ways. Example, port and starboard by deflecting the rudder to the same extent both ways.
Though this may seem quite simple, it has a whole lot of hydrodynamic interaction involved, pertaining to which the turning may be segregated into three different phases. Phase 1 is when the rudder force is first applied whilst the ship is originally surging in the definite straight line without any yaw or rotatory motion above the z-axis. Moreover, due to the absence of any transverse forces and movements, both sway and side-to-side or port-starboard motion and yaw velocities are considered zero. However, due to the application of rudder angle, some forces and movements are induced in the transverse direction. This gets aggravated by the interplay of hydrodynamic factors.
Hello everyone, I am the Cadet Rico Jomar. So I'm gonna report about the phase 2 of the ship's turning circle. So phase 2, so in this phase, the ship is about to make a 90-degree change of heading from its initial path of heading. So if we already set our initial path of heading, then in phase 2 it will change because we are preparing to turn. So the moment induced by the hull gains some predominance by this time thanks to the increasing drift angle caused by the rudder movement. So when the rudder movement increase its drift angle, then our initial path of heading will change. So after some time, the rudder moment balances the hull moment. At the second phase, not all angular and linear velocities and acceleration are equal to zero. It means they are gonna change.
So good day, I will be reporting about the phase 3. So as the rudder is kept a constant deflection, the ship continues to trace a circle. In the third phase, the hull moment exceeds the moment induced by the rudder and the ship reaches a steady state of turning. The angular and linear velocities remain constant as the ship turns in a circle of constant radius. As all external influences are diminished, the acceleration parameters become zero. The centrifugal force continues to act on the ship.
Following the terms must be understood in turning circle. Advance. Refer to the distance traveled by a ship's center of gravity in original directions and navigation measured from point where the helm was applied. Transpire. Refers to the lateral distance of the center of gravity from original course line, or it is the effective distance traveled by center of gravity of the ship in a direction 90 degrees from original direction measured when the ship's head is 90 degrees from original heading. Tactical diameters refers to the lateral distance as above if measured while the ship's head is 180 degrees from original heading. Drift angle refers to the angle between ship's fore and aft line and the tangent of turning circle at any given moment. Pivot point. A point about which a ship pivots in a turning circle. The point is approximately 30% of length from forward when steaming ahead and about 20% to 25% of length from the stern when the ship is going astern.
So, parts of turning circle. A typical ship turns in a circle having a diameter of 3 to 4 times the length between perpendiculars, or the LBP. A turning circle diameter will be less larger than the rudder, or the TCD. The ship will undergo transfer, advance, drift, and angle of heel during the TCD maneuver. So, kanang illustration diha sa PPT, kanang gipakita diha ang advance, transfer, drift angles, and angle of heel during the TCD maneuver. Because of transverse thrust, right-handed propellers have a tighter turning circle when turning to the port. The maneuverability aspects of the ship are tested at the sea trials, finalizing the ship build process to ensure that the ship can safely navigate under worst case scenarios. So, needed yun ni nga maneuverability aspects of the ship kay easy travel gyud aron makasure jud nga makanavigate siya og safely bisag na pa may worst case scenario nga moabot puhon. And needed yun ni na aron mapirmahan or maingnan gikan sa marina ba na or sa IMO na fit for sea travel na ang kanang barkuha. The turning circle trial is conducted with the ship at full speed and the rudder helm set at 35 degrees. The ship is turned completely through 360 degrees with the starboard helm and then with the port helm.
So my topic is all about observation of turning circle. So the first is the ship head is inward by the angle to drift angle, and the next is technical diameter is less than or not equal to maximum transfer, and the next is the advance in approximately equal to 3 to or 4 ship length, but maybe 5 ship length for faster ship. So technical diameter is approximately equal to 4 to 5 ship lengths. So we have to quicker turn is possible as higher speed time wise but diameter or turn will not vary that proportions. So turning circles to ports may be slightly smaller as compared to starboard turning circle. Because it's a turning circle maneuvers, the ship loses 25% of original speed in first quarter. In the last is the in the next quarter, there is a further loss of speed, reaching 55% to 65% of original speed. So they are the speeds remain steady, but the time taken to complete a turn to 8 to 10 minutes of for average size cargo vessels and 14 to 26 minutes for the large vessels. So that's all for my topic. Observation of turning circle.
The turning circle in ballasted condition and turning the circle in loaded condition. So the turning circle as the turning ability in fully loaded condition is much larger than that in ballast condition in some cases, or the turning circle in trim by stern condition has larger in even keel condition. Furthermore, the sea trial test for new ship is mostly executed in ballast condition. From these points, it should be considered that loading condition is one of the important parameters to predict the maneuvering perform for the prediction of the ship maneuverability with high accuracy by numerically simulation. It is required to estimate the accurate hydromatic forces acting of the ship in any conditions. Then it becomes the important to estimate the forces which correspond to the graph of the loading conditions.
The momentum of the ship depends upon the mass of the ship and the speed of the ship. Thus, a lighter ship will gain or lose speed faster than a deeply loaded ship. So, if a large tanker is taken as an example, then at the same speed it will travel long after the engine is stopped. So, when the tanker is in full load condition, the reverse will happen when the tanker is on ballast. That is, it will travel a lesser distance. So, for starting up, also after and first movement is given, a loaded tanker will come to the design speed slower than the same tanker when it ballast. The shape of the underwater part of the hull also plays an important part. Two tankers of the same displacement would have entirely different accelerating and decelerating speeds. So the tanker which has finer lines than the other would be able to travel farther after the engines are stopped, as well as start and reach the designed speed faster. So another factor is the condition of the ship's bottom and the underwater part of the hull. If the undersides are fouled with marine growth, then there would be a drag and the effect on the startup would not be that affected, but the travel distance after the engines are stopped would be shorter. If the underkeel clearance is low, then the effect is both ways, that are the ship will take longer to reach her design speed from a stop, as well as she travels longer when the engines are stopped.